Right, guys, we're live. Welcome to Main Event. Welcome to the boxing podcast, everyone. How are you feeling, Tom?
I'm doing great.
How are you feeling, Spencer?
I'm good, considering.
Good. Okay, let's kick things off then. Let me just go to the list. The boxing podcast. Right, where is it? Give me a second. Nearly get. Right, where's the list? This list. Where is it? Right, number one. This is an awkward one. After Daniel Dubois loses his title fight to Usyk, the WBA have decided to give Manuel Charr a belt he never lost.
Oh,
This is messed up, isn't it? What the fuck is this? Really?
Yo, when I read this, I was like, yo, is Nathan got a damn crystal ball or something? Because he called it. Yo, I was like, wait, I'm kind of glad that Jarrell Miller is going to get a chance to redeem himself or whatever. But I was like, yo, Nathan must know somebody in the industry or something. Because he said that they're going to have a vacant title fight for that WBA belt.
oh. I mean,
but Manuel Charr is now the champion the second time. He had the belt 4 years. He didn't even defend it once. And then he fought Chris Lovejoy, the world's greatest fighter, as we know. This gets worse, doesn't it? Who are they going to dig up next? Is it going to be Samuel Peter?
Well,
Jerome, how does he become what?
And
well, let me say this.
I'm saying Jarrell Miller's on a redemption tour.
Huh.
Yeah, that's true.
I'll tell you what, he's a lucky man.
Let me say this about on this subject. The WBA has lost all credibility. I mean, whatever credibility they had is gone. It's been gone for a while with these bogus titles. I mean, fine, let Charr be the champion. So who is he going to fight and when is he going to fight again? Who knows? Whatever. Who cares?
It's supposed to be Jarrell Miller.
Does anybody care?
They'll probably change the mind again. You know, really?
But Jarrell Miller, you know, I'd like to see Jarrell Miller fight Manuel Charr, and he probably could win at this point. Yeah, he probably could win. But I mean, it's just crazy after being suspended for that
for the last 4 years. His career's just wasted away for the last 5 years.
Yeah, with PEDs, and then trying to make him the #1 contender to fight Manuel Charr for this bogus belt. Whatever. Let them do whatever they want to do. Just make the fights. If that would be a good fight, let's make it. That's all I think. That's the only way.
Yeah, the fact that it's a world. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Nathan.
Versus Martin Bakoli or Anthony Joshua. If they were setting Anthony Joshua, giving Anthony Joshua a title shot, then I'd understand. Then it would make sense. But
this should have, like, Charr versus Miller should have been like a semi-final eliminator for the title. It shouldn't have been a title fight.
But
it's probably the most high-profile. Hold on a second. It's probably the most high-profile match they can make. Nathan, please.
Yeah, I agree. But I do think Anthony Joshua or Martin Bakoli would have been a better. If they'd Anthony Joshua, this fight makes a load of money. That's what they should have done. Gone for Anthony Joshua.
Yeah, for sure. AJ versus Bakoli would have been a much better and more intriguing fight, and more interesting. Like, people would have been more interested in that fight.
We know Martin Bakoli can crack. We know he can punch. We know he can do serious damage. He's that much of a serious contender. You can't take him out of the equation. Deontay Wilder. Yeah, your opinion.
Go ahead. No, tell me about Deontay. No, Deontay. What were you going to say about Deontay?
Deontay Wilder was actually the WBA #1 contender, from what I've seen on the latest rankings.
Deontay Wilder and AJ are going to fight whoever they want to fight. They don't care about a title organization at this point in their career, unless they can fight for all the belts, or get a big payday against Fury or Usyk. That's the bottom line. They don't care. The WBA is not going to enforce anything on them because they can't.
Yeah, you see the WBC try Wilder versus Ruiz, and they like, and that's a big fight, and they like, yeah.
And that's one of our subjects coming up. I believe.
WBC described it. The WBC's described it, didn't they? The final eliminator. Yeah. Right, shall we move on, because I don't think we've got a lot left of. Deontay Wilder faces another delay as career goes into freefall. Spencer, could you explain this one?
Well, it's a little bit about what we was just talking about on Wilder declining fighting Ruiz, and from the looks of it, he's not going to fight AJ before the end of the year. Did it say he was injured? I can't recall if it said he was injured.
It didn't.
He wasn't. He's not injured.
Before, but he's not now.
He's healed.
Not now.
Okay, because
No.
But I don't think I think they were saying that he's looking to fight AJ early next year, and that would make him out of the ring for over a year. Not that he needs to with what he has and who he might fight against, but that's a long time to not be in the ring against somebody that's trying to fight and get better.
And let's say this too: his last fight was what, 1 round. So he needs to get in there and do some work. But he's approaching 40, and he said he would retire at 40. That's in that article. But the bottom line is, he's holding on for something bigger. AJ is bigger. Fury is bigger. Usyk is bigger. Fighting somebody like Ruiz, who's dangerous, doesn't really do anything for him. They're talking about an interim fight. I don't think he needs interim fights. I think he just needs to stay trained and have great sparring and hold out for one more big payday, because he could lose that opportunity in a fight with Ruiz. And the WBC just said, hey, let him make whatever fight he can at this point.
But I mean, I get that point, Tom. On like he could lose, and then that jeopardizes the big AJ payday. But however, if he does win, that increases the AJ payday. Also, if he loses, there's always a rematch.
True, but don't forget too, he's come out over the past few years. We've seen him decline a little bit. You saw it when he was against King Kong, and in a couple of other fights. He won them late by knockout, which is fine. I'm not criticizing him for that. But he's at a point now. We don't really know, based on his last fight, which was a comeback fight after fighting, what's his name? Fury. We don't know how much he really has left until we see him go some rounds. That was a brutal fight, that last fight, for both of them. It was brutal for both of them.
Yeah, he dropped Fury twice, and Fury dropped him, 3 times?
Yeah, it was a brutal, brutal fight. What's your opinion on this, Nathan?
Give me 1 second. I believe, I agree with everything Spencer said.
Okay.
So let's move on to the next thing. Francis Ngannou and Tyson Fury had their press conference today. For their
did you guys see it?
I didn't see it. Did you?
No, I didn't. I was indisposed, but
I should have watched it. I should have watched it today, but I didn't have time. So
I wasn't near a TV to see it, but the two of them like each other. Have you guys watched the Netflix, Life with the Furies?
Not yet. I haven't seen any of it yet.
It's very interesting to really see Tyson Fury actually in his day-to-day life. The guy has a
quick phone call. Give me 1 second.
Yeah. Well, anyway, Spencer, the guy has a tortured soul, and it seems he can't retire from boxing. He just can't do it. And so, this is a way for him to keep a little busy and make some money, for the fight, that fell through with Usyk. But the guy really sometimes pushes the limits in negotiations and communications, and he blew up that fight with Fury. So Nagano has that puncher's chance in this fight, and
You know
that's
what?
something.
Can we call this for what it is? This is an absolute joke. This guy is a UFC fighter. He can't punch like a boxer. He wouldn't even beat Manuel Charr or anyone like that. No, we need to say it as it is. And UFC fighters don't belong in a boxer, and that's all there is to it. This guy may be 6'4" at a UFC, but the UFC fighters, they're not trained the same way boxers are. He's like, do you understand what I'm saying? He even Fabio Wardley would beat Francis Ngannou. I'm being nice.
Listen,
Yes.
I was going to say, remember, Fury got dropped by the hardest heavyweight puncher in the division right now. A couple of times and got up. I don't think Ngannou. I mean, it's possible that Wilder done cracked his shell and that the next slight hit is going to knock him out. But I don't know.
You know what? Audley Harrison would have a better chance. Could probably come out of retirement and beat Francis Ngannou. That's how
David Price. David Price.
With his
just
soft chin.
lost.
The funny thing is that Mike Tyson has been training him. Mike Tyson should be training him to dig a grave, because that's what he's going to be doing. He's going to be on the floor after this fight. Seriously.
That's for promotion. Believe me, That's
Yeah.
Fury,
Mike Tyson might be trying to tell him, like, how to throw a punch or whatever, but Mike Tyson ain't no trainer.
No, he's good. He was a great fighter, one of the best ever, but he's no trainer.
No.
No.
A lot of those guys are like that.
Archie Moore was an exception to the rule as a great trainer, in my opinion. Archie Moore.
Who?
How many?
Archie Moore was a great trainer.
Yeah, he was a great trainer.
Yeah.
He wanted to train me. I wouldn't have anything to do with it.
But
Like Roy Jones, great fighter, but he ain't no great trainer.
He sucks as a trainer. What he did, the next thing, actually, that gives us an idea. We can go and segue into the next thing. Chris Eubank Jr. stops Liam Smith. Oh, this is brutal. This was a great performance. And he'd only been with his new trainer, Mac, for about 6 weeks. This performance, this is what Eubank should have done in the first fight. He's hitting him hard, hitting him with loads of punches, peppering him with jabs, hitting him with combinations, hitting him with the uppercut. He dropped Smith. Was it the fourth round he dropped Smith or the third round?
Yeah, it didn't look like a clean knockdown to me, but he did go down. It looked like their feet got tangled. He tripped. But anyway, that's regardless. He dominated him.
You think they're going to have a trilogy? They talking about trilogy.
After that beat down.
No, I think they'll do a trilogy. It's easy money for both of them, really. For Eubank,
Eubank could just kill him this time.
Yeah, I mean, Eubank was winning the first fight till he lost.
Yeah, he was.
This one, he clearly won. He wasn't taking no chances like last time.
If they go to the third fight, Eubank will go for the finish early. I don't think there's any point. He needs to go on to a belt or go on to a bigger fight a bigger name like Conor Benn. Somebody who's going to sell more tickets. Liam
exactly.
Smith,
yeah, I would definitely go with that one. I'm in agreement with that. If he could get a Triple G fight, he should go for it.
I don't think Triple G would break him down and stop him. I believe an old Triple G is even too much for him.
Yeah.
No, I'm just saying. Well, that's a good money fight. Is all I was saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, for him it would be, but I think he knows he can't step up to that level. That next level of the middleweights. Charlo would eat his.
But there's a couple of champions out there, easy champions he'd destroy, but he may have to go to super middleweight to win a vacant belt.
He could. Who can he beat at middleweight? He could possibly beat Laura now.
Yeah.
Charlo's inactive, so I don't know. And then
Laura would be too smart for him. Laura would be way too smart for him, and southpaw present a whole set of problems that he can't.
I mean, Laura's a much better boxer than anybody he has faced, for sure.
Oh yeah.
So he's definitely going. It will be challenging, but Laura also has like 40-year-old plus legs too. So
I'm not being funny, but if you look at Eubank's resume, it's actually pretty good. It's not a bad resume. Arthur Abraham, the Turkish guy.
Groves, didn't he fight?
Good name.
Well, he lost to Groves, but
that win against Arthur Abraham 5 years ago stands out. When Arthur Abraham was still more or less a world-class fighter,
5 years ago?
Yeah.
No, it was a little bit more than that.
7 years ago.
5 years ago. Yeah, Arthur was
And
kind
don't
of on
forget,
the
he's won 2
downslide
IBO
by
world
that time.
titles and 2 interim belts.
No,
So
he was, but what's it called? I mean, you know, they gave what's it called props. Then he beat off of Abraham to get the title. What's the
No,
what's the
he
dude
got
name?
with Reynold Quinlan, an Australian with an 11-1.
Nah, but what's the guy? The dude that the he at light heavyweight now. He's the Mexican fighter. He was the tall dude. Ramirez. Zerto, right? Zerto. Didn't Zerto beat Abraham for the title?
He did, yeah, for the WBO.
Yeah.
About 8 years ago. But my memory ain't that good. So.
But I'm saying, like, you know, give Eubank props for beating Abraham because people gave Zerto props for beating Abraham. That's all I was trying to. That was
Abraham
the point I was trying to get.
He was tough at one point, a very strong puncher too.
Yeah, I mean, you know, he wasn't no master boxer or whatever, but again, that was a decent name to have on your resume if you're Chris Eubank.
Yep, but didn't Billy Joel kind of humiliate him? Billy Joel Saunders.
But that was a split decision or a majority decision.
No. Oh, it was close.
Yeah, it wasn't a unanimous decision.
Well, I read last week Billy Joe is looking to come out of retirement, but he's all puffed up.
He is, yeah. But
What are you going to be, a light heavyweight or the left hand side in this empty spot right here?
Probably a cruiserweight.
Give me a second, y'all. I'm getting up the card. Y'all can finish talking.
Right, guys.
What's the next thing?
Fabio Wardley is going to face David Aladelli in Saudi Arabia. This is for the British, I believe, in the Commonwealth belts, heavyweight belts. I think David Aladelli is out of his depth. He doesn't have enough experience, and the stuff I've seen of him so far, I'm not impressed with it.
Did you read the article?
Yeah.
He got elbowed he got elbowed and cut, I believe, by someone in Wardley's camp when they met each other outside the press conference or something, and he got elbowed. And so we'll see what happens with that, but he got cut. That's so stupid.
You can't make.
When are they fighting? It's in October, right?
Let me go back a number.
I believe so. Yeah.
Let's have a look. 28th of October.
Yeah.
I picked Fabio Wardley to knock his head off anyway. I don't think much to David Aladelli. He's not a hard hitter. He hasn't shown much in the 7 fights I've seen him. Not impressed.
Wardley is very strong. So,
but he lacks any defense. He has no defense.
Well, yeah, if somebody could outbox him, yeah. But hopefully they're working on that because he does take too many shots.
That's his asset. It's his strength.
His aggressiveness and his strength.
Well,
yeah.
He's done well to get to the level he's got to because luckily the guys he has fought are not massive hitters. Nathan Gorman stunned him and hurt him, but Nathan Gorman is not a big finisher. Never had a hard punch.
Yeah, but he had him going there for
right. Yeah, no, that's what they need to do for him. Fight some guys that give him some rounds that won't be too dangerous on knocking them out.
Well, it'll be an interesting fight, but they better keep them apart because that could have repercussions on Wardley. There could be a lawsuit. You're not supposed to be hurting each other before the fight. I mean, you're going to have enough injuries in sparring, but to do stupid stuff like that, that's just too much of that. The commission should really crack down on that stuff.
That's the emotions, but that helps sell fights, so they like to get the friction going early. But yeah, when it's dangerous to the fighters or detrimental to the fight being called off, then it's idiotic to do it.
Yeah. So why take the chance? It doesn't. You could have all the theatrics you want, but no real assaults. That's stupid.
Yeah, right. Because y'all about to assault each other in the ring in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, really. What's next?
Jesus Ramos faces a great fighter, Erickson Lubin.
Ah,
The next one.
okay.
Very
That's going to
interesting.
be good. That's going to
that's
be a
gonna
good
be good.
fight. Yeah, because Ramos is undefeated and he's very strong. He's fast. Lubin is also tough. I mean, Lubin's been stopped, I think, once.
Twice.
Twice now. Twice. Okay. But still, he's
But remember, Fundora stopped him, and Charlo stopped him in a round.
Yeah, that's right. And but Lubin will give him a good run for his money.
Yeah, he could possibly win. Lubin has the skills to be able to win. Got power in both hands, but
He's got to be careful not to leave himself open.
yeah.
That's the problem with him.
It's a good fight.
I like it. I'd like to see it.
Okay. Next, Shaq Foster's to defend his title against Eduardo Hernandez. This is for
That's
the
another good one.
WBC, the WBC Super Featherweight title.
Yeah, this is another
Yeah.
good one.
And that's on October
Well,
the 28th.
Yeah,
What's
this is
the
another
opponent-
good one.
What's the opponent's name? What are the two names again? The second.
Shaq Foster.
I know him, but who's the other guy? I forgot.
Eduardo Hernandez. I've never heard of him before.
Oh no, he's good.
He's highly ranked, I'm assuming.
He's Mexican, so he must be good.
No, he's good. I've seen him fight. He's strong. So this will be a good one. This is going to be good. So
That's good.
the Mexican guy has a couple of losses, but out of 36 fights, I think he has 31 knockouts.
Oh, so he got some pop.
Oh yeah, a lot of pop.
You know what? Maybe Eddie Hearn should give him a call so he can get some more of his fighters.
He's on a 7 KO streak in his last 7 fights, so he's bringing power. He's bringing power to the table.
Yeah, they better watch out.
Dangerous Mexican
on the money.
Yeah,
That's
you
right.
know when they
fight a Mexican.
when they come to town. You know when they come to town, it is not going to be a siesta.
One of my friends in Canada, Dave Madcap Morozek, told me that when he was in Canada, he used to see the Argentinians, right, all the guys, the journeyman fighters, come off like a bus, and there'll be about 10 Argentinians and that lot coming off the bus. And he said you could tell these guys were only paid $100 a fight or whatever, and they're like normal people. They just pull off the street.
I don't know if they pull him off the street. They probably got him out of a gym somewhere.
Yeah.
Somebody manager knows who.
He's 100 paces. Do you want to fight this man? It's like the WBA should go up to people in the street saying, "Can you throw a punch? If you can, we'll give you the world heavyweight title. You can have this WBA belt. Any bum can apply."
Oh, he's doing his stand-up routine again, Spencer.
You got to start selling tickets.
That's a good one. I like it.
Right, guys, let's move on. Christian McBilly is going to fight Demond Nicholson. When is that fight?
That's a junior light heavyweight. Yeah, I'm familiar with McBilly.
You said junior? I thought McBilly was a super middleweight.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Super middleweight, junior light heavyweight, whatever.
I very rarely hear people call it junior light heavyweight.
Two different. Yeah.
Proper word for it in
maybe
the UK is the you call it the super lightweight division. We call it the light welterweight division in the UK. As it's meant to be, not junior welterweight. Sorry.
It depends on the. It used to be with different sanctionings with like
the WBO. I think the WBO used to call them the junior middleweights, and the rest of them called them super welterweights. Like in those differences.
So the proper word
That's
is
historical. Thank you for having my back, Spencer.
Typical American.
No problem.
Typical American.
I know it's confusing, but I like McBilly. I think he's going to win. The
Yeah,
Billy's, I
he,
watched them.
he
Strong.
impressed me his last fight I seen him in. The fight
Yeah.
before that I seen him, I was like, I see him because he fought my homeboy Dre Ware. I'm like, but Dre Ware wasn't top 5 contender in the division at the time, so I didn't see it yet. But then I think I seen a fight after that, and I'm like, yeah, Mobili is ready. He's ready.
Yeah. Yeah. I think he should do it. That'd be a good one, though. Be a good one.
Yeah, I wonder who he's with. I think he's with Top Rank. And
I
if
think so. Yeah.
and if he is, then he got some fights coming up to him because he could fight
Right.
Berlanga. We were about to see.
Okay, so Jamie McGear is going to be fighting. Is it
Berlanga.
About Munguia.
Yeah, I don't know if they'll be fighting. He's dancing around the money. I mean, that's a real tough fight for Berlanga. I don't know if he's ready for Munguia. I don't think he's ready for Munguia, to be honest with you. He's
So
probably
Berlanga's the one dancing around the money.
yeah.
Oh, then yeah, he ain't ready.
He ain't ready, because this is a title shot. I mean, come on, let's get serious here.
Did he fight Rosado yet?
Rosado, I think he did, didn't he?
I know Munguia fought him, but did Berlanga fight him? Because that'll be a fight. That'll be a fight that he could fight in the meantime.
Not sure, maybe not. I'm not sure of that. He may have. It seems to be somewhere. Maybe I'm confusing it with Munguia. I don't know.
No, that was a good one. The Munguia. I mean, no, I think that was a good one. Munguia versus Rosado. I think that was a decent fight.
Yeah, I don't think he's ready for Munguia. He's not ready. Munguia is busy. He throws hard, and he's in good shape.
And high volume. He throws a lot of punches.
Yeah, so Munguia is going to have to. Style-wise, I favor Munguia in that.
Yeah, for sure. That's what I'm thinking. Berlanga needs a couple of, he's not ready for the top 5 dudes in the division yet. He needs a lot more seasoning.
Yes, he does. I think so. What do you think, Nathan?
Yeah, I agree with what you said on that particular thing.
Yeah. Don't be surprised if it doesn't happen, is what I'm saying.
Yeah. I mean, it's the classic rivalry, Puerto Rico versus Mexico. They got the crowd that's going to be into it, so.
Yeah, he's worried about his cut. I don't know. I think he's worried about getting cut.
Yeah, but that might happen. Munguia been cut too, right?
Yeah, I mean, almost every fighter gets cut. The only time Sonny Liston got cut is when he fought Cassius Clay.
Muhammad Ali.
That's right. But when he fought him, he was Cassius Clay. It was a joke.
Yeah. No, I got you.
It's that old joke. The only fighter better than Muhammad Ali was Cassius
Clay.
I was watching one of his old fights yesterday. It was really great.
Right, guys, let's go to our final thing. And afterwards, I'm going to do a blast to the past, which will amuse some of you because you'll remember it like it was yesterday. Right, so this particular one, what are we doing? Give me 1 second.
You got to put it on the screen?
No, I'm just saying, that's the last part. When I've got the last part of it.
The next thing is Serrano. They doing 12 minutes.
I've got something else to do after. Serrano Women's World Top set for 12 3-minute rounds. Wow, this is groundbreaking.
Well, do women normally train? They do 2-minute rounds, but they train in 3-minute rounds?
Yeah.
I'm not. It depends on the fighters because I think I heard some of the fighters say they train for 3-minute rounds anyway, even if they don't.
Yeah, I believe all boxing should be 2-minute rounds, not 3-minute rounds. Minimize the risk.
Well, not necessarily. That you'll be more active in 2 minutes to score points.
Yeah.
I mean, when we had 15 rounds, a lot of the fighters that were winning by the 12th round lost in 13 through 15.
Some championship rounds.
Yeah, because Wolcott was beating the piss out of Rocky Marciano until the 13th round. Rocky caught up to him.
I just think 15 rounds is ridiculous. When I look at now, 15-round fights are ridiculous. Crazy.
When you fought Cassius Clay / Muhammad Ali, you better be ready to go 15 rounds because he could take you there. Rocky Marciano, the same thing. Those guys, they were in such great shape. They depended on you getting tired.
Nathan, just imagine in the early days of boxing, they was going rounds
Like
till
Jack
somebody
Johnson,
lost.
Yeah, but they would stop after a knockdown. They wouldn't continue.
Right, guys, when I look at the
okay.
history of boxing and I look at people like Pancho Villa, people like Jack Johnson, for me, sometimes it's hard to believe these guys ever existed because they were groundbreaking, weren't they? Jack Johnson, Pancho Villa. Pancho Villa only lived till 23, there's footage of him, but it's not very good. I don't know if you've ever seen footage of it. It's not great.
The footage of Jack Johnson isn't the greatest either, but
But you can see he was a good fighter. I don't know how he would have done in today's era. I don't know.
You can't compare it. You can't compare it.
Because it's more knowledge and all of this stuff today than it was just during his time.
But
it's also a different style of fighting too.
I believe if you took Sugar Ray Robinson from 1950, the one that beat Jake LaMotta, put him in today's rings, he'd beat a lot of the guys today because he does techniques that they don't do anymore. So he would probably beat a lot of the guys, the top guys.
Yeah, Sugar Ray is one of those unique ones that could have probably been fitted for today.
Oh, he would have done
a lot of people don't say this nowadays, but Sugar Ray Robinson was the greatest welterweight that ever lived.
He was, yeah. He was.
His record as a welterweight is incredible.
I'm not saying he would have beaten Mayweather because I think Mayweather would have probably had a little bit too much, and that's just my opinion from seeing the two.
Hey, we don't know. Those are fantasy matchups. I think Sugar Ray Robinson would have beat Sugar Ray Leonard, and people be thinking that SugarRay Leonard might have been able to beat Floyd Mayweather. So
let's not even talk about Roberto Duran.
So
yeah, but again, he crossed over into the modern era, didn't he? So when I talk about guys like, it's always hard. And Tommy Hearns and Marvin Hagler's one fighter, I believe, today that would have made the transition in the middleweights.
Yeah, but Marvin Hagler.
I guess the only guy we had left in the modern era that fought like the old guys was Bernard Hopkins, and look what he did.
Yeah,
probably one of the top 3 middleweights that ever lived.
Oh yeah, let me play.
If not the top,
we're going to go.
B-Hop?
Yeah, B-Hop's great middle. Who would you put
I got that, and he got the record and all of that, but I like Hagler better than B-Hop at middleweight.
Right, guys.
I didn't.
We're going to have a flashback before we go back to this. And then we'll
have the argument later. Let me see it. What is it?
Remember this? 15 years ago.
David Hay and Vladimir Klitschko. Oh my God.
Wasn't he trying to get a fight with Vitaly first?
Yeah, he did have a fight with him. After that, he got a fight, signed the fight, then he had a back injury, then he pulled out of it. Klitschko fought somebody else instead. And then Hay had the fight a year later, had the fight 2 years later when he was a world champion. This is when Hay got his WBA belt against the big giant guy, Valuev.
Yeah.
And then Klitschko says, what do you weigh? Klitschko says, what do you weigh? And David Hay says about 210 pounds. And then they made the fight, and it was so funny. Everybody back then thought David Hay was this beast. I thought he was this monster, this guy that was going to take over the division. But little did I know, he's going to moan about a little broken toe.
Yeah.
Well, he had to hang his defeat on something. He was humiliated. Yeah. He couldn't take that smoke that was coming back at him. He had to run away.
He was never much of a heavyweight, David Hay, really, was he? Let's be honest about it. He wasn't really. He just beat the old guys like the Ruizes, the old guys who didn't have it anymore.
Yeah, because there wasn't nobody at cruiserweight for him to really make any money with, so he had to go step it up.
I think Michael Morrow would have put him out.
I do believe in today's era, if Hay was around in his prime, like when he beat Valuev, I think he would have been a top 20 fighter, not a top 10. Do you agree with that? He might have been just outside the top 10.
How tall is David Hay? Because his height.
6'4".
Yeah, it's possible. He would, yeah, top 20. Yeah, clearly he could have been a top 20 fighter
When he
in the
beat Shaw,
division.
so he would have probably won a belt. He probably would have beaten. He would have beaten Daniel Dubois for sure. He would have destroyed Daniel Dubois.
He would have. I think David Haye would have been able to beat Dubois, Dylan White.
Yeah,
he beat Chisora.
he'd beat
Dave Allen. He could beat Dave Allen.
He could. You know what? I'm going to say. I shouldn't say this, but I think he would have had a chance against Joshua with his speed. He would have hit Joshua on the chin. I'm not saying he would have won, but it would have been a good fight.
I'm trying to think if David Haye would be able to beat Joe Joyce.
No
way.
No way.
Yeah, I didn't think so either. That's why I was like skeptical about that one. But yeah, I could see him beating AJ too.
He would have beaten Joseph Parker.
Only because Parker is not. He don't have that beast shit with him. You don't have that go for the kill stuff.
Well, he fought his heart out against Joyce. You can't take it away from him, you know.
No, he did, because Joyce was beating, punching. He had to, but it's like a lot of fights that Joseph Parker had. They were like close fights, and he didn't really do enough to separate himself to make sure he was clearly the winner in some of them fights.
Yeah,
like he allowed AJ to control a fight when he fought him.
Well, the referee had something to do with that too.
Yeah, that too.
When David Haye fought Monty Barrett, I remember watching. I'm thinking David Haye looks weak at this weight because Monty Barrett was obviously washed. He beat him. Haye got knocked down once, but he looked strong. But he didn't look like his punch resistance was that good. It never really was that good. Haye's punch resistance. He just had the power to keep people off. He was a manufactured heavyweight. Physically,
yeah, without question. He was no Evander Holyfield.
Yeah, he just bulked up. He just bulked up and put more muscle. That's all it was. I mean, he had the talent and the skill, but he just bulked up on fake muscle. You could say he probably did drugs. I don't know, but he did a lot of but like 5 stone and muscle.
But you were a big fan of David Haye. I guess it's nostalgic for you.
I was back 15 years ago, but now I realise I saw him for what he really was, which was just a blown up cruiserweight who fought a weak champion in a weak era.
He got embarrassed by Tony Bellew twice.
But we know that in his prime, he would have beaten Tony Bellew in his prime comfortably. I can say that.
I could probably say that. I could reasonably say that too, especially if they would have fought at cruiserweight.
Haye would have knocked his head off, even at heavyweight. When Haye was in his prime, he would have destroyed Tony Bellew within 3 or 4 rounds. Even Bellew said he would have destroyed.
I agree.
He just had that silly metatarsus, and his punch was. I mean, forget he'd been dormant for 5 years. Then he comes back and has these 2 fights against the 2 bums that he fought, which was they made in England. They made a big deal out of it when he came back. They said, "Oh, is he going to beat Joshua?"
And then he was supposed to fight Shannon Briggs. There was supposed to be some stuff about him fighting Shannon Briggs, and he backed out of that fight.
He wouldn't have beaten Shannon Briggs in the condition because he was too injured. That's why he chose easy people to make him look better than what he actually was.
Because Shannon Briggs got a punch. Shannon Briggs has a punch.
Does he ever?
Haye in his prime would have stopped Shannon Briggs, but this version of Haye wouldn't have stopped Briggs. The version of Briggs that beat George Foreman would have beaten David Haye as well, in my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I finally did see the George Foreman movie.
Yeah, it's on Netflix or Amazon, one of those things.
It's on Netflix. It was very good, actually.
You enjoyed it?
I did. I enjoyed it.
The bit where they had the youth centre and then they had him with his George Foreman shirt on.
Go ahead.
They didn't go deep into some of the stuff he did when he was younger. But I thought it was a nice little,
Did you see
biography.
The bit where he beat the kid up?
Yeah.
We finished.
The only thing about I was going to say the only thing about those movies when they try to do somebody's whole entire life in like a 2-hour span, they don't give they glance over various areas of their life.
True.
Like most of us that knew about George Foreman knew about the Ali and the Ali fight. So, them doing that whole Ali stuff again, we didn't have to rehash that. We could have just went from him losing to Ali to him coming back to get the title and all of that stuff. It would have been, in my opinion, a better story to tell.
Yeah, it wasn't great. It was good. I enjoyed it. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, and me being a boxing guy, you know, I'm a be biased again in favor of the boxing movies anyway. So I'll watch it again if it's on and all of that. So
okay, well, we'll talk
I'm
about
going to end the
Hagler
stream.
and B-Hop some other time.
I'm going to end the stream then. I want to talk to you guys for a few minutes after this. We're ending the stream.